Following an order by the Controller General, Nigerian Immigration Service, Mohammed Babandede, the passport offices nationwide released processed passports to applicants. The Ikoyi Passport Office comes alive skeletally, taking advantage of the order. There is a hand wash stand and sanitizer available as applicants make their way into the command. For any applicant to be eligible, that individual's passport must have been processed and such individual will have received an SMS. The Ikoyi Passport Control Officer explains the procedure.
During the period of lockdown, we were able to produce all the passports, all the pending cases of passports. So applicants were now invited based on the directives of our service. Strategy adopted by our service, which we were directed to do, is to send bulk SMS text messages. In fact, even the text messages, we were able to tell them that they should not come to Ikoyi Passport Office without wearing their face masks. And even before they do the activation of the passport, there is equally the provision of a standing sanitizer. So the moment you are called to come out and activate your passport, then you sanitize your hands. After that, you thumbprint. The moment you thumbprint it, then we issue you your passport, you make entry on the register, and then you go.
At the point of issuance, applicants are asked to follow the NCDC directive on social distancing and wearing of face masks. They are also called forth in batches. This procedure is maintained to avoid unnecessary crowding.
As soon as some are sorted out, then they will now come back to the hall and then announce those that are sorted out. Then they now follow and enter the collection room. In the collection room too, we have made provisions for seats, that 6 people at a time enter. And the seats are supposed to contain four people, but we allow 1 per seat.
According to NIS authorities, gradual enrollment for only enhanced passports will begin at some selected immigration commands by May 18, 2020. Ethiopian Airways Flight 8509 taxis into the international wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport from the United States, carrying 160 Nigerian returnees who paid for their one-way economy class ticket with the airline, which cost between $1,300 and $1,700 for adults. Airport officials and staff of the Nigerian Center for Disease Control are on ground to ensure the right protocols are carried out. Then the passengers, comprising 92 males, 60 females and 8 infants, begin disembarking from the plane and are met by the NCDC officials. And it's off into the luxury buses that will take them to the isolation centers, which will be their home for the next 14 days, while their passports will remain in the custody of the Nigerian Immigration Service. Some days before the U.S. flight, Nigerians from the United Kingdom also arrived aboard a BA Flight 9155 at the Muritala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos with 253 persons. After many hours of delay, an Air Peace flight lands at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport late in the evening with the returnees. Before then, Lagos State had also received 256 Nigerians evacuated from the United Arab Emirates and were received by several agencies involved in the process. To keep to the rules of safety, men dressed in personal protective equipment handle their luggage before the passengers board the buses provided to convey them to the isolation center. These 3 evacuations have seen over 600 Nigerians make their way back home. But the Minister of Foreign Affairs, while speaking at the Presidential Task Force briefing on COVID-19, says there will be a pause on the evacuations.
Now we have over 600 evacuees in various accommodation in Lagos and in Abuja. And we're reaching, as I understand from our medical people, a saturation point. the maximum we can really cope with and be able to deliver adequately and professionally the services and the care that we're supposed to. So this will mean that we will be staggering our flights in evacuating Nigerians and making sure that we deal with the ones that we have in place before bringing back others.
With over 3,000 Nigerians left outside the country, many hope that the evacuations will resume soon.
To France, where stewards distributing face masks to passengers, frequent cleanups with an aggressive chemical solution, high-density air filters, welcome aboard the Air France flight in the COVID-19 era. In the battle against the new coronavirus, which has to date killed more than 25,000 people in France, the French airline has put in place protective measures to ensure safe travels in its aircraft. Travelers in the Air France Flight 178 occupied their seats, respecting social distancing rules, possible thanks to the sparse influx of passengers during the pandemic as they prepared for their 11-hour journey. Air France is set to require all passengers on board its flights to wear masks. It's a very good measure to require passengers and personnel to wear masks. It seems obvious to me. Concerning Air France, we've now started distributing masks to passengers during boarding before it becomes mandatory on May the 11th. It's a good thing, of course. The company had said in a statement that passengers will have to supply the masks themselves and will be expected to keep them on for the duration of their flight. Air France is not the first to require masks in its flights. Major airlines, among them Lufthansa, United Airlines and Delta Airlines, have already mandated face masks for all passengers. To complement the new rule, a thorough cleaning of all planes are conducted after each flight. First, before the coronavirus epidemic happened, we've had other epidemics pass. We've had an extremely low number of infections inside planes, and it's not really in the air that there are risks. It's when you touch surfaces. And so, we've decided to conduct a complete disinfection of the plane after each flight. We even went a bit further by spraying the residual solution in the cabin that stays active for 10 days. We decided to put an additional measure in place, which is doing it every 5 days. This solution is diffused and goes into all of the cabin with a virus-killing product that is very active against the COVID-19 virus. Air France has also installed hospital-grade HEPA filters in planes, which sucks out air every 3 minutes to rid it of microparticles, including the virus. Airlines globally have taken a severe financial hit from the COVID-19 pandemic and resulting slowdown in air travel, and are now seeking to reassure customers it is safe to fly.
And that's all we have for you this week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Bukola Joe Oketumbi. Do stay safe.